Hi everyone, this is Team 6 and this is our presentation over remote workforce. First, what is remote workforce? According to Citrix, remote working is a mode of work that allows employees of an organization to perform all their essential job responsibilities from outside traditional office space. For our research method, we found relevant articles discussing the challenges that arise from the transition to a remote workforce due to COVID-19. After analyzing the articles, we found 4 main challenges that were continuously mentioned. Afterwards, we discussed and did further research for possible solutions.
Hello, my name is Amariah Moore. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a third-year student at UT. My major is Youth and Community Studies with a concentration in early childhood. And for a fun fact, my zodiac sign is a Gemini. The challenge that I chose was distraction when working from home. Some of the challenges can be the environment. Sometimes there's noisiness coming from your housemates or roommates and pets. And you can also get distracted by the temptations of having too much privacy. Oftentimes when you're working at home, you're not really being supervised anymore, and we have easy access to our phones or watching movies or really just doing anything off task, and there's the little risk of anyone finding out what you're doing. So solutions to these challenges: when it comes to the environment, you can try to designate a closed-off room that is away from others to do your work. As far as the temptations, if possible, try to distance yourself from those temptations. For example, you can leave your phone maybe in another room, or if you do have to have it in your workspace, maybe put it up in a desk or have it distance away from you. And lastly, to create a schedule or a task list of what you need to get done. That way you're holding yourself accountable and it's very clear what your objectives for that day are.
Hello, my name's Allison Nguyen. I use she, they pronouns. I'm a 4th-year studio art major who is minoring in arts management and administration, Chinese, and sociology, and I'm a Leo. I researched the information and communication challenges that come along with remote working. The first thing that I found was the lack of access to information. Not being in office space and steps away from your coworkers, locating information requires added time and effort that can essentially become obstacles for remote workers. There's also a lack of mutual knowledge between coworkers. Without daily conversations, there's a lack of mutual knowledge of others' situation, which lowers the willingness to accommodate to other coworkers. The second thing that I found was the lack of universal communication. Now not being able to have face-to-face interactions, email alone is insufficient. Here are some solutions that I found for these challenges. The first one is to provide several different communication technology options. One is to host video conferences. This would allow for visual cues that mimic face-to-face interactions, and it will increase mutual knowledge about coworkers, thus reducing the sense of isolation amongst the team. Another form of communication is to provide mobile messaging functionalities, such as Slack, Discord, Microsoft Teams, etc. They're great for simpler and less formal conversations and also time-sensitive communication. Another rule is to establish rules of engagement. Establishing rules of engagement sets expectations for frequency, means, and ideal timing of communication, which makes remote work more efficient and satisfying. It also informs employees of the optimal way and time to reach managers during the workday. Having rules of engagement helps track communication amongst team members to moderate the exchange of information. And lastly, employers should establish the rules of engagement early on so employees share the same set of expectations for communication.
Hello, my name is Brenda Vazquez. I use pronouns she, her, hers. I'm a 3rd-year BFA Theater Studies major, now called UTH Theater, but BFA Theater Studies sounds way cooler. And a fun fact about me is that I am a Libra. So in this part of the presentation, I will be discussing Challenge 3, which is Internet and Insufficient Technology. When a lot of people were transferred into a remote workforce due to COVID-19, this caused quite a bit of concern to a lot of people when it involved bad internet or no internet at all at home. Also, the affordability for electronics, such as an iPad, a laptop, or just a regular PC, and etc. Also, a lot of people worried about the internet itself. The internet can be scary and confusing when you're not used to being on the internet 24/7 a day. But also because you're transferring into a whole new way of work, finding out the new applications that you have to use and a way to navigate those things was very concerning to a lot of people. However, after doing some research on internet insufficient technology regarding remote workforce workers, we were able to find some solutions to these problems and concerns. The first one being Spectrum offering free Wi-Fi. Yes, Spectrum was offering free Wi-Fi to students and for remote workforce workers. Now, you were able to get free Wi-Fi, or they were able to apply a discount for you. This makes it easier for people who have bad internet or no internet at all to begin with. The second being, depending on the company, they will offer equipment or discounts for equipment that you may need to be able to perform well at work. So if you need a laptop, your company may offer you a free laptop or at least a discount for you to be able to purchase a laptop. The third being, sites like Amazon provide help for remote workers, meaning if you have a question about a site that your job is requiring you to use and you don't quite know how to use it, sites like Amazon can help you navigate through all those different applications and help you through so that you are able to succeed at work.
Hi, my name is Oanh Nguyen, and I am a fourth year neuroscience major with a certificate in forensic science. My zodiac sign is Aquarius, although I feel like I relate more to a Sagittarius, but that is besides the point. Today I am focusing on challenge number 4, which is social isolation, a subtopic of the main idea of remote workforce. So the 3 main challenges that I am focusing on include mental and emotional health, loneliness, and reduced work performance. In regard to the first challenge, mental and emotional health, I have found that anxiety and depression increases when there is a sudden change in the workplace, especially when going from, in-person work and switching to remote work or telecommuting. The adjustment can be very hard, especially if the organization or company does not lay out guidelines to reduce the blur between work and your personal time. And this then ties into the second challenge, which is loneliness. Not being able to differentiate between your work time and your own personal time makes it really hard to be able to do things that you enjoy without feeling like you're overworked or always stressed in regard to the work that you have. Furthermore, there's also the lack of physical interaction and communicating between coworkers, especially when there is a sudden change to telecommuting, because the communication system, especially, going through Zoom and everything, can cause people to feel less comfortable since you're not, physically there with each other in the workplace. So this increases loneliness and the feeling of isolation. The third challenge that we have in regard to social isolation is reduced work performance. And this also ties into the other 2 challenges before, mental and emotional health. Whenever you don't feel like your health is well, you can't perform as well. And then isolation and loneliness can make it very hard to find the motivation to work productively. And that's how all these challenges tie into one another. There are several different things that you can do in regard to solutions to the challenges of social isolation, such as focusing on perceived proximity versus physical proximity. So because we can't have physical proximity in regard to telecommuting and remote working, it is important that we focus on perceived proximity, which is the quality of the relationship that we can have with one another instead of just being close to one another. And things that we can do to improve this are resources such as, HR implementing different activities and things over like online communicating to be able to allow workers to feel like, they're still interacting at the same amount as they were before, but just not physically close to each other, but still growing the quality of relationship between the coworkers. It is also important that there is a culture and normality shift in the company to accommodate for implementing telecommuting, and this ensures that the line between life and work is very defined so that people are able to still have time outside of work and do things that they enjoy without feeling like work is overwhelming and taking up all the time in the day. And therefore, feeling less lonely also increases mental and emotional health, which is the first challenge that we were mentioning before. Another solution that could be focused on is praise and recognition from work for positive performance. And this is very important because feeling valued by your organization that you are working for reduces the effect of, the feeling of isolation and loneliness felt by remote workers. And, whenever you feel more valued and respected by the company or organization that you are working for, this also increases the impact of confidence on your work and result in better work product. Another solution that I would like to mention is performance feedback from supervisors. And this is also a very important thing to continue implementing, especially during remote work, because it's hard to gauge the work that you are producing or the quality of work that you are producing, especially whenever you don't have your coworkers around to be able to give each other little feedback all the time. That's why it's important that there's small doses of feedback from supervisors during telecommuting to solve the challenge of reduced work performance in order for the relative expectations to be set. And this then helps workers understand what is needed of them, since, the regular feedback, as mentioned before, from coworkers and supervisors during in-person work is no longer there. And so that's pretty much the spiel of the challenge number 4, social isolation in regard to remote workforce.
Hi everyone, my name is Clarisse Marie Girisheja. I am 4th year at the University of Texas at Austin. My pronouns are she and her. My major is health and society with pre-health professionals, and my zodiac sign is Virgo. The challenge I'll be talking about today is time management. So I'll be focusing on 3 top challenges, which is failure to prioritize. When you fail to prioritize certain things, it leads to procrastination, which is basically putting off tasks that you should be focusing on. When you ineffectively schedule tasks, you end up taking too much project on and commitment more than you can handle, which also lead to poor performance. And also not getting enough breaks, basically like working 8 to 10 hours straight without taking time to care for yourself, is also not good for your mental health, and it also again causes bad performance. So to solve this, you can start by keeping a calendar and having a to-do list, which is basically allowing you to keep all your tasks together and you can work in a timely manner. And it keeps your workplace ordered. And you can also learn how to say no. You don't have to say yes to everything. You can learn to say no by offering alternatives and being mindful to others, and by also learning how to take care of yourself when you say no. Another thing is to organize your day. Basically, the day before, you can schedule your breaks by telling yourself like, okay, I'm going to work from 8 to 10. I'm going to take a 30-minute break, and then I'm going back to work from 10:30 to 12, and I'll take another break. Basically, set days off where you take breaks during the day, or if you want to schedule a weekly thing, make sure you have days where you don't do any work related. You can choose Saturdays where you don't do anything work related. So on Saturdays, you just hang out with friends and family and not think anything about work.
That's all, folks. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our presentation. We had an amazing time working together on this. And once again, thank you so much.